Have you ever wondered how an ancient monument can stand the test of time, weather, and human activity? Allow me to introduce you to the Sanchi Stupa. Nestled in the heart of India, this awe-inspiring structure is not just a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but also an enduring symbol of India's rich cultural heritage. Its enchanting beauty and intricate design captivate the mind, and its resilience through the ages leaves one in sheer admiration. Sanchi Stupa is a Buddhist complex famous for its great stupa on a hilltop at Sanchi town in Raisin district of the state of Madhya Pradesh, India. It is located about 23 kilometers from Raisin town, district headquarters, and 46 kilometers or 29 miles northeast of Bhopal, capital of Madhya Pradesh. The Great Stupa at Sanchi is one of the oldest stone structures in India and an important monument of Indian architecture. It was originally commissioned by the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka the Great in the 3rd century BCE. Its nucleus was a simple hemispherical brick structure built over the relics of the Buddha. It was crowned by the chhatra, a parasol-like structure symbolizing high rank, which was intended to honor and shelter the relics. The original construction work of this stupa was overseen by Ashoka, whose wife Devi was the daughter of a merchant of nearby Vidisha. Under Ashoka's watch, the stupa underwent a series of enhancements. Skilled artisans painstakingly carved intricate designs into the stone gateways, transforming the stupa into a work of art. Over the centuries, successive rulers added to the grandeur of the stupa, expanding its size and complexity. Sanchi is the center of a region with several stupas, all within a few miles of Sanchi, including the Sadara Stupa. Sanchi Stupa is depicted on the reverse side of the Indian currency note of Rs 200 to signify its importance to Indian cultural heritage. Sanchi Stupa is depicted on the reverse side of the Indian currency note of Rs 200 to signify its importance to Indian cultural heritage. The nearest airport is Bhopal, which is 55 kilometers away from it. Trains are available from Bhopal and Rani Kamlapati to Sanchi railway station. Buses are available from Bhopal and Vidisha. The monuments at Sanchi today comprise a series of Buddhist monuments starting from the Mauryan Empire period, 3rd century BCE, continuing with the Gupta Empire period, 5th century CE, and ending around the 12th century CE. They are the best preserved Buddhist monuments in India. The oldest and the largest monument is the Great Stupa, also called Stupa No. 1, initially built under the Mauryans and adorned with one of the pillars of Ashoka. During the following centuries, especially under the Shungas and the Satavahanas, the Great Stupa was enlarged and decorated with gates and railings, and smaller stupas were also built in the vicinity, especially Stupa No. 2 and Stupa No. 3. The detail and precision of these carvings showcase the mastery of the artisans of that era and their profound understanding of Buddhist philosophy. The Great Stupa at Sanchi is the oldest structure and was originally commissioned by the Emperor Ashoka the Great of the Maurya Empire in the 3rd century BCE. 6. Its nucleus was a hemispherical brick structure built over the sacred relics of the Buddha. It has a raised terrace encompassing its base and a railing and stone umbrella on the summit, the chhatra, a parasol-like structure symbolizing high rank. The original stupa only had about half the diameter of today's stupa, which is the result of enlargement by the Shungas. It was covered in brick, in contrast to the stones that now cover it. According to one version of the Mahavamsa, the Buddhist chronicle of Sri Lanka, Ashoka was closely connected to the region of Sanchi. When he was heir apparent and was journeying as viceroy to Ujjain, he is said to have halted at Vidisha, 10 kilometers from Sanchi, and there married the daughter of a local banker. She was called Devi and later gave Ashoka 2 sons, Ujjaniya and Mahendra, and a daughter Sangamita, a pillar of finely polished sandstone. One of the pillars of Ashoka was also erected on the side of the main Torana gateway. The bottom part of the pillar still stands. The upper parts of the pillar are at the nearby Sanchi Archaeological Museum. The capital consists of 4 lions, which probably supported a wheel of law, as also suggested by later illustrations among the Sanchi reliefs. The pillar has an Ashokan inscription and an inscription in the ornamental Sankalipi from the Gupta period. The Ashokan inscription is engraved in early Brahmi characters. The pillar, when intact, was about 42 feet in height and consisted of a round and slightly tapering monolithic shaft with a bell-shaped capital surmounted by an abacus and a crowning ornament of 4 lions, set back to back, the whole finely finished and polished to a remarkable luster from top to bottom. Based on Ashokavadana, it is presumed that the stupa may have been vandalized at one point sometime in the 2nd century BCE, an event some have related to the rise of the Shunga emperor Pushyamitra Shunga, who overtook the Mauryan Empire as an army general. It has been suggested that Pushyamitra may have destroyed the original stupa and his son Agnimitra rebuilt it. Given the rather decentralized and fragmentary nature of the Shunga state, with many cities actually issuing their own coinage, as well as the relative dislike of the Shungas for Buddhism, some authors argue that the constructions of that period in Sanchi cannot really be called Shunga. They were not the result of royal sponsorship, in contrast with what happened during the Mauryas, and the dedications at Sanchi were private or collective rather than the result of royal patronage. Pillar 25 at Sanchi is also attributed to the Sungas in the 2nd–1st century BCE and is considered similar in design to the Heliodorus pillar, dedicated by Heliodorus, the ambassador to the Indo-Greek king Antiochus in nearby Vidisha c. 100 BCE. The height of the pillar, including the capital, is 15 feet, its diameter at the base 1 foot, 4 in, up to a height of 4 feet, 6 inches. The shaft is octagonal, above that 16-sided. In the octagonal portion, all the facets are flat, but in the upper section, the alternate facets are fluted, the 8 other sides being produced by a concave chamfering of the arises of the octagon. Recognized as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, the Sanchi Stupa has played a pivotal role in promoting cultural tourism in India. The Satavahana Empire under Satakarni II conquered eastern Malwa from the Shungas. This gave the Satavahanas access to the Buddhist site of Sanchi, which they are credited with the building of the decorated gateways around the original Mauryan Empire and Sunga stupas. There are some uncertainties about the date and the identity of the Satakarni in question, as a king Satakarni is mentioned in the Hathigumpha inscription, which is sometimes dated to the 2nd century BCE. Also, several Satavahana kings used the name Satakarni, which complicates the matter. Usual dates given for the gateways range from 50 BCE to the 1st century CE, and the builder of the earliest gateways is generally considered to be Satakarni II, who ruled in 50–25 BCE. Usual dates given for the gateways range from 50 BCE to the 1st century CE, and the builder of the earliest gateways is generally considered to be Satakarni II, who ruled in 50–25 BCE. The Sanchi Stupa, standing tall and proud, continues to inspire awe, reminding us of our rich past and the timeless beauty of human creativity.